Patrol Unit 23, Officer Daniels reporting. Shift began at 1900 hours. Weather, overcast, light rain, intermittent thunder. Routine patrol along County Route 9 until dispatch flagged a disturbance call near the old Halpern residence. Caller identified as male, name withheld per policy, reported flickering lights inside the abandoned property and someone moving in the upstairs window. The Halpern place has been vacant since 2003, condemned after the fire. Responded 1942, ETA 1956. Arrived on site with Officer Reaves. Property stands off the main road, 400 yards into the woods, access via unpaved driveway. No visible vehicles, no signs of forced entry at the gate. Structure in severe decay. Windows boarded, some partially collapsed. Rain intensified upon approach. We left the cruiser lights on low beam for visibility. Enter perimeter through south path. Power grid in this area was disconnected years ago, yet several witnesses have reported illumination inside over the past month. Flashlights only source of light once on foot. Ground soft, heavy mud. Animal tracks near porch, likely raccoon or stray dog. At 20:07 we reached the front steps. Noted faint hum, like distant electrical buzzing. Couldn't identify source. No running generators, no visible power lines active. Door was unlocked, wood swollen from weather. Reaves entered first. Interior thick with mold, ash residue, broken furniture stacked against walls. Smell of burnt insulation still noticeable. He called out standard announcement. No response. Hum continued, slightly louder inside, almost tonal. Sounded like vibration through walls. Moved deeper into main hall. Temperature drop noted, significant even with exterior rain chill. Checked meter later. Interior was at 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Ambient outside, 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Stairs partially collapsed near landing, but light flicker observed upstairs, steady, intermittent like bulbs shorting out. Reaves took left hallway while I documented entry with body cam. Timestamp 2013. Static interference began at 2014. Sporadic white noise on both audio and visual feeds. Dispatch confirmed no storms affecting transmission range. Reaves radioed from adjacent room. Said he found children's drawings on walls, burned edges, depicting figures with no faces. He mentioned one had 23 scrawled repeatedly along the border. Before I could reply, comms cut to static. Proceeded to locate him. Found him standing in doorway of what used to be a bedroom. He said he heard movement above ceiling joists. We paused, heard slow creak like weight shifting overhead. Then the light flickered again, directly above. Neither of us had activated additional lamps. Reeves suggested attic access. Found pull cord in hallway ceiling. Stale dust fell when I tugged. Hatch opened silently. Used flashlight. Beam caught reflection of eyes briefly. Not animal, position too high, stationary. Could have been glass or metal. Then something dropped from attic. A folded piece of paper fell between us. It was brittle, burned on one edge. Writing barely legible. Only phrase readable. Stay until they call your name. Sound resumed above. Faster movement, like scurrying but heavier. Reeves backed up, aimed light upward. Hatch slammed shut on its own. Both of us drew weapons. Commanded identification twice. No response. Radio regained partial signal. Dispatch attempted check-in. Unreadable noise. The humming grew into low mechanical drone, vibrating floorboards. Reeves noted faint light under door to basement, despite no functioning electrical grid. Decision made to clear level and exit. Regroup at cruiser. At 2028, we began retreat toward front door. I glanced back down hallway, saw a figure standing at end. Barely visible, silhouetted, proportions wrong. Too tall, head tilted slightly against ceiling beam. Couldn't distinguish facial features. Light pulsed behind it. It didn't move as we exited. Outside air was warm again, rain steady. Drone stopped instantly once threshold crossed. Reaves asked if I'd seen it too. I said yes. We returned to vehicle. Both radios still full static. Logged coordinates, filed preliminary entry for dispatch, requested backup unit for property sweep. Waited 30 minutes. No response. At 21:01 we saw light in upper window again. Same flicker, then steady glow. Looked like someone walking past. But house had gone silent. At 21:07, backup still en route. Reeves said he heard a voice call his name from the tree line. I didn't. He froze, turned flashlight toward sound. Nothing. Static surged again. Then both body cams cut to black for exactly 12 seconds before feed returned. During blackout, we both reported seeing nothing, but playback later shows faint whispering layered over static. Audio forensics marked it as unknown origin, multitonal. Backup never arrived. Dispatch records show unit assigned, but not deployed. Internal inquiry opened next morning. File hashtag LSF092. Location currently under evidence lockdown. Body cam footage partially corrupted. Frames missing between 2042 and 2049. End of shift entry. Supplemental statement filed by Officer Daniels. Timestamp 9:32 the following morning. Subject: continuation of incident report hashtag LSF092, Halpern property. Upon review of overnight logs, dispatch confirmed no unit was ever assigned to our backup request, though digital record still shows confirmation at 2031. IT division traced the response signal. It originated from a dead terminal at precinct storage and used since 2018. Returned to property daylight hours accompanied by Detective Moore and 2 forensic techs. Ground saturated, tire impressions from our unit visible, no others. Entryway undisturbed, no signs of forced re-entry. House interior as before, except for one discrepancy. The burned paper we collected was missing from evidence bag. Tag still sealed, barcode intact. Moore noted faint footprints on ash floor, barefoot, small, likely child size. They led from hallway toward basement door, then disappeared mid-step, no exit trace. Basement still padlocked from outside. Lock showed oxidation, but no break marks. We cut it for inspection. Descent narrow, unstable stairs. Air heavy, metallic odor. Flashlights reflected off, standing water pooled along lower edge. Against far wall, rusted fuse box, open, with wires spliced into improvised circuit. Power readings faint but active. Forensics later confirmed residual current drawn from unknown source. Someone had reconnected minimal power to interior lines. Underwater near box, we found metallic fragments, identified later as broken radio transceiver components, same frequency as patrol use. Moore theorized someone may have been intercepting comms from below ground. I mentioned a phrase from the note. He dismissed as coincidence. But tech recorded electromagnetic fluctuation in the same basement space every 42 seconds, oscillating in pulse patterns similar to human speech cadence. We returned topside after 15 minutes due to rising water. At surface, exterior sky overcast again, though forecast was clear. Temperature drop repeated. At 11:12, one forensic technician, Ramirez, reported hearing faint children's voices upstairs. We confirmed auditory anomaly via handheld recorder. Playback produced rhythmic whispering. 3 syllables repeated, unintelligible. Equipment malfunctioned soon after, batteries drained simultaneously. Moore requested immediate extraction, pending audio analysis. En route back to cruiser, Ramirez realized her left wristwatch stopped at 10:41. The same minute the first pulse was logged in basement. Vehicle telemetry also froze at that timestamp. Only resumed once we passed County Route 9 junction. All data synced upon return to station except for digital clock in evidence room. Stayed locked at 10:41 until manual reset. Review board ordered preliminary psychological assessment for involved officers due to incident stress exposure. Cleared for duty, but flagged for observation. 2 nights later, at 2:17, received direct line call to precinct from unlisted number. Audio contains same hum heard at Halpern site. Dispatcher recorded 22 seconds before disconnect. Caller ID displayed coordinates matching Halpern property. System flag call as internal. Origin within precinct network, though no terminal register transmission. Technical team confirmed no evidence of spoofing. At 3:02, Reeves contacted me off shift, said he couldn't sleep, heard static through his personal radio at home, though it was unplugged. He said someone whispered his name again. Background of his recording had faint dripping sound, consistent with water on concrete. He hadn't been near any. He texted 15 minutes later, "It's in the wires." No further response after 3:24. Officers dispatched to his residence. 410 found front door open, lights flickering. Inside, all electronics were powered, but displays blank white. No signs of struggle. Upstairs bedroom contained his uniform neatly folded on floor, badge placed on top. Mirror opposite bed cracked in a radial pattern from center outward. House still humming. Audio logs captured same low drone. Power company confirmed 0 current running through line. Reeves listed missing at 5:03. By 5:26, his patrol cruiser's GPS pinged. Location: Halpern property driveway. Units arrived 5:49. Vehicle engine warm. Keys still in ignition. Driver's seat empty. Interior radio repeating static loop. Recording lasted 11 minutes, ending with faint voice saying, "Stay until they call your name." Pattern identical to phrase from burned paper. Investigation escalated to internal affairs. Property secured again under federal jurisdiction. At time of report, local jurisdiction relieved of access. All case material sealed, pending classification review. Daniels signing off for now. Audio interference detected in office equipment as this was transcribed. Static increasing through wall intercom, though disconnected. Sound identical to that night's frequency pulse. I'm logging this manually because the system clock keeps reverting to 10:41. End of addendum. Recovered transcription from bodycam SD card labeled D-Unit 23. Timestamped 3 days after Officer Reeves' disappearance. File found in secure evidence locker, though no record of its upload exists. Audio begins with Daniels breathing heavily. Background rain audible, distant thunder. He repeats coordinates for Halpern property, saying dispatch hasn't been responding all night. He states, "I just need to see it once more, close the report." Vehicle engine stops 23:19. Door opens. Heavy footsteps sounds through mud. Rain hitting metal surfaces. Daniel's flashlight clicks on. Beam catches house silhouette. Upper windows faintly glowing though electrical grid officially disconnected. Audio note. Faint mechanical drone again present. Consistent with previous recordings, but lower frequency. Possibly below 60 Hz. Daniels narrates for documentation. Says property sealed, yet tape already torn. States he's proceeding alone for verification. Entry creak audible. Camera shows first floor hallway unchanged, except for single object on floor. Officer's badge, number 472, identified later as Reeves. Blood residue visible along rim. Daniels exhales sharply, mutters that it looks fresh. Timestamp 23:26. Audio distortions begin. Crackling overlays his voice. He mentions he feels vibrations under floor, like something moving below. He calls out Reeves' name twice. No response. Moves toward basement door, now wide open, lock missing. Steps creak heavily with each movement. At base of stairs, water level lower than prior visit, but walls appear wet as if recently drained. Metallic dripping constant. Daniels breathing rapid. Heart monitor audible from radio harness. Then faint whispering begins behind him. Multiple overlapping tones, male and female, impossible to isolate words. He turns abruptly, Camera pans, empty staircase. Whispering stops instantly. Silence for 7 seconds. Then small childlike laugh very near microphone. Off right shoulder. Daniels curses, backs into corner. Light catches shape at far edge of room. Figure crouched, partially submerged, face obscured by wet hair. Stays motionless. He says, "Police, identify yourself." No reply. He approaches 2 steps closer. Camera zooms unintentionally from trembling hands. Figure slowly lifts head. Eyes appear glassy, unfocused, mouth stretched open wider than normal anatomy. Water trickling from it. Light flickers though flashlight batteries red full. Audio cuts out completely for 12 seconds. When feed resumes, camera angle shifted, pointing upward towards ceiling. Attic boards visible through gaps. Something is crawling rapidly across beams. Daniels whispers, "That's not possible. It's above me." He ascends stairs backward toward main hall. Heavy breathing, metallic clinking as weapon drawn. Upper floor hallway camera distortion increases. Frames smear, creating double image of moving shapes. Voices continue faintly, now repeating same phrase. "Stay until they call your name." He enters bedroom where Reaves found drawings. They are gone. Walls freshly clean except one symbol scrawled large in soot. A circle crossed by vertical line, identical to precinct evidence tag symbol. Daniels repeats, "Who's doing this? Who's here?" Low static builds until it drowns voice completely. Visual frame pulses bright white, then camera autocorrects exposure. Reveals silhouette at end hall again. Same as first night, but closer now. Daniels lowers weapon, says quietly, "Reaves?" Figure tilts head slowly. Then another voice, same tone as Reaves, says, "They called my name." Camera shakes violently. Feed cuts for 20 seconds. When it returns, Daniels lying on floor, flashlight sideways, illuminating ceiling. Shadow moves across light. Many limbs, indistinct, like reflections in water. Whispering converges into one deep mechanical tone. Then silence. Daniels groans faintly, picks up camera, staggers toward exit. Final minute of footage outside shows heavy rain again, his voice repeating coordinates like automatic mantra. Then faint click, his radio activates on its own. Background hum fades. Female voice, unregistered, says clearly, "Unit 23, report received." Static follows. End of file. Metadata lists last modification time as 10:41 a.m. despite being recorded at night. Internal Affairs retrieved footage from server the next morning, though no one uploaded it. Daniels failed to report for duty that day. Cruiser found idling outside precinct. Driver's door open, engine running. Passenger seat contained his badge and a single burned note identical to first one. "Stay until they call your name." Office logs show his ID card scanned in a building at 5:02, but security cameras display only flickering static in every frame for 4 minutes before restoring. Thermal sensors in evidence room registered human presence until 5:17. No one visible on video. Investigation suspended indefinitely. Compiled transcript from internal investigation files following disappearance of officers Daniels and Reaves. Designated case closure summary, LSF 092, final. Compiled by Detective Moore, date omitted. Document retrieved from corrupted precinct archives during digital audit. Time code of creation, 1041. Narrative sequence reconstructed from partial CCTV feeds, audio fragments, and handwritten notes recovered from Moore's office drawer after his resignation. Begins with log entry. "I went back because the noise didn't stop." Moore's handwriting trails unevenly across pages, several smudged with what lab identified as soot and trace saline. Audio fragment, one records heavy breathing, faint clicking from typewriter keys, though none existed in precinct. He describes hearing static from basement of station, same frequency pattern as Halpern drone. He follows sound to evidence room. where lights dim to emergency glow. Footage shows door opening though access code never entered. Inside, shells cleared. Only one object visible. The folded burned paper with phrase, "Stay until they call your name." Placed upright against wall, slowly curling as if heated from within. More approaches. Camera distortion intensifies. Audio picks up whispering again, this time clearer, matching vocal print of both missing officers simultaneously. They repeat coordinates of Halpern property in monotone rhythm. More drops flashlight. Shadow extends across ceiling, independent of his movement. He mutters, "Not here," before static engulfs sound. CCTV camera records him standing motionless for 6 minutes, then walking backward out of room, eyes unfocused. He proceeds down hallway, trailing water footprints though floor dry. Later analysis shows each footprint spaced at irregular intervals, increasing distance as if stride elongating beyond human capacity. At 2:12, he exits building. Patrol car dashcam from another unit captures him walking into forest without flashlight. No pursuit loath. Subsequent search yields no trace of Moore. That same night, dispatch receives multiple false unit check-ins from ID 472 and 23, both listed missing. Voices on tape identical in cadence, but lower pitch. They report, all clear at location. When dispatcher requests ID verification, both channels respond simultaneously. "We're still on shift." Audio loops for 41 seconds before terminating in hum. Next morning, at 10:41, precinct power grid experiences synchronized blackout. Every clock resets to midnight, then advances to 10:41, freezes exactly 10 minutes. During outage, archive case files related to Halpern incident auto-deleted except for single file titled shift_23_active. Inside, looping clip from Daniel's body cam showing static dissolving in a faint image of house interior. No officers visible, but camera slowly pans towards staircase as if held by unseen hand. Final frame captures top landing where faint human shapes stand shoulder to shoulder, eyes reflecting light, all facing the lens. Frame repeats infinitely. Federal audit sealed server after failure to decrypt. Backup analog copies produce identical looping image, same timestamp recurring, 10:41. Following week, townspeople report renewed lights inside Halpern House. Power company dispatch finds wires beneath property reconnected through underground line traced directly toward municipal substation under police precinct. Line cut, yet lights remain visible. Investigation halted. Site fenced off. Sign reads condemned, unsafe structure. Still, multiple witnesses claim to hear radio chatter near fence line at night, echoing the same 3 syllables captured in first forensic tape. Maintenance crews report their digital watches freezing whenever near property perimeter. Every time, display locks at 10:41. Last known audio from precinct archive. Corrupted file with single female voice repeating. Unit 23, copy that. You're still on. End of recovered documentation. Static resumes at file termination. Fades over 60 seconds until silence. System auto shutdown triggered immediately afterward. Reason code blank. Current status, unresolved.